The Civil War is often remembered as a courageous battle for the abolition of slavery. However, Civil War was not a man's battle. Women had a very important role in the Civil War. A female nurse was something unheard of before the Civil War, but due to necessity, thousands of women left their domestic duties at home to become nurses. With little or no training, the nurses had to deal with injuries like amputations, dealing with dead bodies, and many diseases. Nursing was very different then than it was today. They did very unconventional things, like they would write letters to wounded soldiers' families, they would read to them, they would cook meals, serve meals to the soldiers, and do laundry. The women became very passionate and would not wait on the sidelines while the men were dying on the battlefield. Clara Barton became known as the Angel of the Battlefield because she would dodge bullets to treat fallen soldiers on the battlefield where they fell. She only wanted to save lives no matter what a soldier was fighting for, so she cared for many soldiers in the North and the South. Barton founded the American Red Cross in 1881, which continues to help people. Although many men believed that female nurses would just be in the way, they proved to be true heroes of the Civil War. Women who couldn't join the soldiers did everything they could to help them at home. With the absence of men during this time, women had to take on new responsibilities. When their husbands left to go to war, women were left with a family but no income. Financial needs forced the wives to find jobs in places like textile mills and munition plants, or becoming housekeepers or servants. To support the war, women founded soldier aid societies and held fundraisers like raffles and fairs to supply the soldiers with medical supplies, food, ammunition, clothes, and shelter. Life changed drastically for women in the South because most of the battles of the Civil War were fought in the Confederacy. Many women risked their lives every day going to work because explosions were so common in factories, and factories were often burned by Union troops. The South became very impoverished, and the women did anything they could to provide for their family. They used sheets and curtains for clothes. When troops were hurt, they took pride in opening up their house as hospitals. Women in the South greatly suffered. They were starving and sick and had to be careful for their lives every single day. They desperately wanted to have the war end, even if it meant defeat. At home, women did their part to support their respective side of the war. They supported the troops and kept cities running with the absence of men. Even though women were banned from fighting in the Union and the Confederacy, that did not stop them from finding ways to serve their country in the war. Many women wanted to fight for their country just to be patriotic. Other women fought because of financial needs, because a soldier made $13 a month, which was way more than any woman could make doing a job. The physical examinations to become a soldier were not rigorous at the time, and women had no problem enlisting in the war disguised as men. Sarah Emma Edmonds used the alias Private Frank Thompson to fight in the First Battle of Bull Run and Fredericksburg for the Union. Women who could not fight helped their respective armies by working as scouts, messengers, smugglers, and spies. When the enemy was in their territory, they would spy on them, thinking that their gender would protect them. However, both the Union and the Confederacy would imprison them if they were caught. Women hid messages in their hoop skirts, corsets, and parasols. Belle Boyd worked as a nurse in Martinsburg, West Virginia. While there, she interacted with Union soldiers and passed the information on to the Confederate forces. At first, men did not take female spies seriously, but as they were continuously handed useful information, they began to appreciate them. Many strong women risked their lives to preserve their country just like men did. The Civil War proved not to be a man's battle. Women helped change the course of history through nursing in the Civil War, helping in the home front, and directly fighting the battle against slavery. Many years ago, every aspect of a woman's life was dependent on men. Over time, they began taking on new roles and responsibilities and eventually working their way up to freedom. Nurses of the Civil War, women who fought on the home front, and women who fought for their country greatly impacted women's journey to independence because women saw this and took the initiative to become independent from men in every single part in their life.